is Dani'i and welcome to this video. Again, I want to apologize straight away for sounding like this. I'm actually still recovering from the flu and I kind of mostly lost my voice yesterday. It's really just coming back. But of course, I couldn't leave you guys hanging in terms of the updates in regards to tonight's eclipse. The first total lunar eclipse that the Western Hemisphere will be seeing since 2022. And I also want to get into the details in regards to the weather conditions, weather activity, especially in relation to the rainfall across the Caribbean. Now, there is a frontal system. Let's look at the satellite imagery here. And there is that frontal system which actually extends into the Caribbean. And the tail end of that front may actually try to materialize into something as we're going to be heading into the early part of next week. So we'll talk about that as well. But aside from that, we see a couple of those white dots around indicating lightning strikes. So there is a bit of action going on within the vicinity of parts of northern South America, the Guyanas, Colombia, Venezuela as well. And even just offshore, we can see that cluster of convective activity. Now, as we move into the Caribbean, we can see these little cloud clusters, some of which is associated with that front. So it actually extends into the northeastern Caribbean right now. So across some of our greater Antilles, parts of Cuba, Jamaica, even Hispaniola, and at intersections of Puerto Rico, there's been some rainfall activity, especially this afternoon. However, as we're going to be progressing into the night, some areas could definitely have very good visibility to see that eclipse. Now, the advantage of this eclipse, despite the bit of cloud coverage that we have right now, is that it is going to be lasting long. Unlike a solar eclipse, where totality only lasts a few minutes, the total blood moon will be over an hour. Around 65 minutes is going to be the duration of the blood moon. So there's definitely time. So even if it's a bit cloudy, if things should clear up a bit within half an hour, for example, then you can still go out and see a portion of the eclipse. But in terms of the rainfall forecast for the Caribbean, let's go on to that. And here we are seeing that from Euro. Now, we can see these different colors, and the more color we see indicates a higher probability, more rainfall activity expected. So towards Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, Hispaniola, even a couple spots in Jamaica, there could be some additional rain. And the heavier rain is likely within Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. So some spots may experience a bit more substantial rain than others. Things won't be as active within the vicinity of the Bahamas and Turks and Caicos, likely to be on the dry side. Same thing for much of Cuba, the Cayman Islands, and most of Central America. Much not expected at all for the ABC Islands, likely to be pretty sunny throughout much of today and even going into throughout much of tomorrow as well. For the Lesser Antilles, few passing clouds and showers possible coming in from the east. And then for northern South America, it's likely that the region is going to remain active with those periods of heavy rain and thunderstorms as well. Now, I'm going to get to the eclipse in a moment, but I want to talk about that frontal system. So here we're looking at the surface chart. We can see that cold front marked by those blue triangles on that diagonal line. So as I said, it extends into the northeastern Caribbean. And the ensembles here, so let's look at that. We're going to be looking at the members for Euro. And this goes about a week out from now. So these different L's show the area of low pressure and where it could go. Now, the more of these we see being concentrated means that there is more of agreement that we could actually see something in air fluid pressure try to form. And we see that as we're going to be heading into the new week, well offshore the U.S., well away from the Caribbean. And even on the GFS here. Now, the GFS isn't just in relation to potentially seeing subtropical or tropical cyclones, but low pressure systems on a whole. But this is the general area. We see a decent amount of these members also agreeing that, hey, something may try to get itself together and materialize right here. And this is not something that is even far-fetched, because as we take a look at the sea surface temperature graphic here, we can see that within this general region, we have temperatures 26 degrees Celsius, 25, 24. So temperatures are not even that cool to the point where it is unlikely we won't see anything tropical at all. There's not much of a chance. However, it is definitely a possibility that we could even see a subtropical system. It's not fully tropical in its development or cyclogenesis, but it could exhibit some tropical features. And of course, those winds would have to exceed around 39 miles per hour. In terms of our models, let's take a look at a bit of model data here. We've got the GFS, and this is for Monday on the 17th. So this coming Monday, we can see that area of high pressure and then that area of low pressure. And all these green shadings and those yellows, oranges you see indicate the moisture. And those black squiggly lines indicate those isobars, which are lines that join areas of equal atmospheric pressure. So we can definitely see that area of low pressure being expected on Monday by GFS. Similar thing on Euro. We can see all this moisture. And then as we head to the Icon model, Icon is showing more of a broad area of low pressure, nothing really consolidated here. And then for the Canadian model, similar story, it is showing that area of low pressure forming. So a subtropical system is definitely not out of the realm of possibility. And if we should actually have something develop before March concludes in the North Atlantic, it would be the first occurrence since March of 1908. So well over a century since the last time that happened, and it is not at all impossible. Now, if you're curious in relation to the names for the upcoming hurricane season, the first name on the list is Andrea. So if we should see something try to get itself together and actually attain subtropical or even tropical storm status, Andrea is the first name on the list for the season. So there's not a high chance of that happening. Nothing has been officially posted by the National Hurricane Center, but of course I'll be keeping you posted. It's just something to take note of, and one of the advantages is the fact that this is going to be offshore. But as it pertains to the eclipse of course that is going to be happening tonight into early tomorrow morning. So North America, the entire Caribbean, South America, Central America, all of those areas are going to be witnessing a total lunar eclipse. So this is when the moon passes into Earth's shadows, Earth's penumbra, which is the outer shadow, and the umbra, which is the innermost and darker shadow of Earth. So when the moon completely passes into Earth's umbra and it is aligned with the Earth and the Sun, we get a total lunar eclipse. And then a total lunar eclipse, it is also called a blood moon, or it appears red because sunlight passes through the Earth's atmosphere, and the color with the longest wavelength, red, manages to be bent and refracted to the moon's surface. So that illuminates it with that rusty blood or orangish color that we tend to see. Now, likewise, on that video posted on my second channel, if you saw it, I'm going to be leaving a link in the pinned comment. Once you go there, enter your city, your country. If you're in the US, enter your state, and it is going to be taking you to a page giving you the breakdown of when each eclipse phase commences for you. But I'm in Jamaica, so as for Jamaica, this is a breakdown of the eclipse phases for us. The penumbral eclipse, so that is when the moon starts to pass into Earth's penumbra. That's the outer shadow. Will start at around 10:57 tonight. And because the dimming is so faint, you're not really going to notice much until when the partial phase begins. The partial eclipse, so the moon will gradually appear to disappear, starting around 12:09 a.m. That's very early tomorrow morning. The total lunar eclipse, when the moon starts to completely turn into a blood moon, that is going to start at around 1:26 a.m. tomorrow morning. The maximum eclipse, when the moon is closest to the center of Earth's umbra, that will be at 1:58 a.m. The total lunar eclipse, the blood moon, ends at around 2:31, and then the partial eclipse is going to end at 3:47 a.m. And the full eclipse, the penumbral eclipse, that is going to end at around 5 a.m. So as you see, it's going to last a while. As I had mentioned, totality is going to last over an hour. So guys, get ready for it. And the next eclipse is not going to be until 2029. So it's going to be some time before our next total lunar eclipse. But that is pretty much what I wanted to bring to your attention in today's update video. I really do hope that you found it to be informative. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. I'll get to you when I can. And remember to always be weatherwise.